Welcome to Verbal Diarrhea inside the mind of a genius, sir. My verbal diarrhea. Oh shit, I can't say it now without laughing. Before I start, I want to say one must never simp. Never forget this. But yeah, one must never simp. But Excuse me. Oh, shit. Oh. Man, nothing beats when I deliver it spontaneous and like just like kind of just riffing, making it up as I go. It comes out a lot. I realize it comes out a lot funnier and shit than when something is prepared. Like when I was in the I was taking a piss and then I don't know, just randomly in my mind came like, oh, we're talking about when you realize the whole MK Ultra program that's being run on me and the PSYOP, the military PSYOP and CIA government PSYOP, that whole gang stalking thing. When I realized I was a targeted individual back in like in the early 2018, right? But I first started to notice weird shit like that, like towards the end of 2017, I started to notice it. But when it first happened, you have no idea what it is. If you never heard of these things, you have no idea what it is. You don't know what's going on, so you could get like freaked out and be like, what the fuck going on, right? What the fuck going what the But thankfully around early 2018 I was able to, I learned what it was, what it is and how it works, and all the little psyops and what they do and how they do it and what they're trying to maneuver towards and shit like that. So once you know all the shit they do and how they do it and what they're trying to maneuver you towards, once you know all that, it's like they're not really effective at doing what they want to do, at maneuvering you towards what they want to do or whatever. So it's kind of just, for a while it became just fucking hilarious. Like, to me it was just funny, right? And you see like some real agency stuff going on. Oh shit. Oh, excuse me. Oh shit, look at that. When for a while it just became fucking hilarious, right? Like, this is pretty entertaining to watch this. Like, just sometimes it makes you laugh, like the extent that it goes to or whatever, how big it is and whatever. How big it is and how well organized and everything and shit. But after a while, you're kind of just like, okay, like it slows down, it goes down for a while, the whole program that they're running, and then I don't know, randomly it'll just pick up or something like. I had German Shepherd sicked on me one time. Like, I mean, literally, like someone let them loose and they charged. They were like foaming at the mouth and they charged towards me, like. And for a second, I was about to jump over a fence, right? Oh, like two big ass German Shepherds charging towards me, and I didn't. I don't want to say this. I didn't have another two, but I was about to jump over for a second. I thought about it, right? But then something in my mind, like, I don't know, reminded me like, oh, just stand there and look at him. Just stand there and look at him. And they could charge, like angry, like barking, full speed towards me, right? I just stood there, and they both just turned around and like walked away, right? And I'm like, oh shit. But then I was like, next time I'm gonna be ready, right? I'm gonna have something for that ass, right? No, I'm just kidding. Oh shit. Wait, I'm walking by someone. Hello. So yeah. So yeah, I've gotten I'm amazingly, unbelievably nice or whatever. Unbelievably nice and friendly, and for someone that's literally received, to my knowledge, what I've studied and researched, received Black Panther treatment and communist Cuba treatment. Someone and has had like some sick psyop ran on them and MK Ultra fucking program run on them. I'm pretty. I turned out pretty nice and still friendly and shit like that. Even though all that shit has happened to me and all that shit, and I've been smeared and dragged through the mud and shit like that. And there's a spiritual aspect to it too, also. Like big time motherfuckers have spoken about this also. Like New Breed Global Truth. New Breed Global Truth, he's a huge guy, huge YouTuber who's talked about gang stalking and targeted individuals. And also Enoch the Freestyle Prince has talked about this, those two big ass motherfuckers. And then when I heard them explaining it, what it is and how it works and what they're trying to do, I was like, holy shit. That is exactly what happened to me. Like, they're describing exactly what happened to me, right? They're describing. And there's a spiritual aspect to it, you know, because once your first eye is open, the third eye, you know, my shit been, you know, bursted open and, you know, bursted wide open since years ago, right? Because just like, I was always into conspiracy, but I was never into the spiritual side of it until my huge awakening or whatever, right? And just once that happened, and I had a dark nights of the soul, and just my shit just ruptured. You know, everything they say when you activate it, when that shit is wide open, hearing the humming and the hissing, crackling, and all that shit, and becoming very intuitive and being able to read energies, you can see the demonic spirit behind it. You can read like negative people have negative ass demonic evil energy to them and shit like that. So then you know that. And it's basically all I can recall right now, right? Because like, I don't know. but I've been through a lot of fucked up shit, right? Like Black Panther treatment, communist, you know, suspected dissident rebel, communist Cuba treatment or something like that, you know. But weird ass shit, right? Just a bunch of stuff that it would take too long to just name everything, right? Like people invading your space, trying to like provoke you, and a bunch of shit. Being tailed, you know, with high beam lights on, slowly stalked, and at night and shit like that, you know. A bunch of weird shit like that. I'm sure there's more fucked up shit that I can't recall right now because I've already been aware of this like for years already. Hold on. Any questions? Fuck, I'm winded. I'm winded. Any questions? Look, here comes this camera. Here comes this guy. Here comes this Mongolian right now. I mean, these are most of the people that are go along with the program. They got like an evil, demonic energy towards them that you can read. You know, they're that's that. They want you to. They want you to get mad and overreact, right? But once you know what it is, what they're doing, what they're trying to do, and how they do it, and all this shit, it's really funny actually. But that's that. Oh man, no, that's that bullshit. That's that calcified pineal gland. The shit. That's that fucking. They got too much fluoride up in the pineal gland. They need to fucking hire someone to scrape that shit off. That's oh, look at this lady. Look at this. Oh. That's the shit. That's the. I hope this shit is working. Can you hear me or no? Because last time I broke into a hilarious rant about this, right? While I was taking the longest It'd be fucking funny. And then come to find out the whole last 15 minutes just got wrecked for no reason. Like nothing changed. Like I didn't press anything. Right. Oh my gosh. Oh. I don't want these savage trolls to know the gay music I listen to, right? But they think I'm cool, right? They think I'm cool. Well, I like all types of music. If you know me, I like all types of music. Look at this lady. Look at this lady. I don't know. And you see all types of weird shit. Me and Salim were talking about this the other time. I thought he wouldn't know. He'd have no idea what I'm talking about. Or he'd be like, I've never experienced what you're saying, right? Or we were talking about doppelgangers and clones. And people who look like they got some mask over their face, like some, very artificial looking shit or whatever. Please don't. I'm targeted. This person. One time I was followed all the way home. I was tailed with some all tinted windows car with some. The person that was in it was some very scary looking dudes, right? Or some hardcore thugs looking dudes, right? I was tailed all the way home with high beam lights on, right? And I was thinking, okay, maybe they're just headed in the same route as me, and I'm just like, I'm thinking about it. I'm just thinking about it too much, right? Maybe they're just heading the same route. But then once I turned into my neighborhood, right, they followed, right? And then I was like, oh shit, let me, what's it called? Lose them, let me go a different route so that they don't fucking know where I live and shit, right? Even though in this military psyop, this MK Ultra program is being run, they know everything about you, right? It's like you're fucking no, I mean, it's not like you're someone special. It's like you're a celebrity almost, right? But Yep. Okay, I was like, let me go a different path so that they don't know where I live. And then I was like, okay. Then I got stuck at a red light, and they was still right behind me with high beam lights on, right? And at that time I was a lot younger. I was like, and a lot more innocent minded, right? I was a lot more innocent minded and a lot younger. So I was like, shit. And I think it was still during the process where I didn't know fully what was going on. So you do get like paranoid, like freaked out, right? So I got stuck at a red light, and they were still right behind me. Same car with tinted windows and high beams on, right? And I'm like, well, here it is, right? I guess it's time, right? I guess it's time. I was like, all right. It was fun while it lasted, right? It was fun while it lasted. And then I don't know what, because I'm pretty sure at that time I still had no idea what type of MK Ultra program, what type of military government psyop was being run on me, and why and how and all this shit, right? So I was a little freaked out, right? And then I was a lot younger, it was like years ago, and I was a lot more innocent minded, right? So I think I just got down and acted like I was on the phone, and when I did that, they just peeled off, right? They fucking hauled ass out of there. And a bunch of countless shit like that has happened to me, right? On some, Black Panther treatment, what they got from the CIA and FBI, or what suspected dissidents and rebels would get, like in communist Cuba or some shit, right? No. My shit feel dry as hell. What? No questions? I really didn't have anything else to say. I just wanted to say one last time, one must never simp. This is very important. You must never forget this, right? One must never simp, regardless of how physically attractive the broad is. The broad, yeah. Can you still hear me, or did that whole thing get fucked like yesterday? I don't know. As soon as I broke into targeted individual, the feed cut out. The audio went to shit for no reason, right? And I wasn't doing anything. I was just standing there, just standing, not pressing anything for the last like 15-20 minutes. And then I was like, man, that was the best part. Once you get into the groove and you're like, you're really just riffing, and it's coming out just very natural. I broke into some spaces fake. Is anyone into the spaces fake thing? And not that we don't mean literally that it's fake, you fucking Mongolians, you fucking fucking Chinese Mongols, fucking Moloch worshipping ass Malachians, and fucking calcified people, right? Calcified. Oh shit. Meaning that it's not, this realm and space is not what they've told us it is. It's not how they've presented it to us, right? I really highly recommend Level. The documentaries Level and Level With Me. Level With Me, which just came out, right? And Level was a couple years ago. Um, I'm too lazy to explain it right. The way I was breaking it to, I think I got cut off right at the time when I was saying there's 4 different motions going on, right? Supposedly on this planet, right, is doing 4 different motions: gyrating, rotating, spinning, and shooting at retarded speeds, right? And you can't feel it, right? And for some reason, people don't fall off, and the water doesn't go flying, off. And then the explanation is all gravity, right? The theory of gravity. But then a lot of people have broken into this, which blew my mind the first time I heard it. I was like, why does it hold this but not that? Something huge and just that weighs just a ton, like too much. Something huge. Gravity holds that, but not like a gnat, not a tiny little gnat or a tiny little butterfly that weighs nothing, right? That weighs nothing. Yeah, that blew my mind. I don't know. If someone can explain that, that would be amazing, right? I'll be like, whoa. Is gravity selective? Gravity has a mind of its own. It knows what to hold on to. And the fact that there's no real video or photos of Earth. NASA themselves admits. I mean, in NASA's documents, all their calculations, in their official documents, you can look these up. They say if you're calculating anything to do with space travel and Earth, you must assume that it's a flat, stationary planet. That the Earth is flat and stationary, not moving. But why would NASA put that? And also, any photos they admit are not photos, but computer generated images, right? Look at this person, right? Look at this Molochian. These motherfuckers are sacrificing to Moloch. And I'm getting thirsty as hell. Hold on. Okay, but yes, I've seen Men in Black, yeah. What about it? I don't believe in aliens. It is possible that there's other beings we don't know about, or that at one time on this plane there existed different beings that we don't know about, because they found crazy shit like huge, giant skeletons that would be giants or whatever, like. And there's so many places that we're not allowed to go, so many undiscovered places that we don't know about, and so many places we're not allowed to go, like Antarctica and the North Pole, the actual North Pole. Hold on. And so many people. I remember this one lady was telling me, which I'm assuming she's a Freemason, but I don't know to what extent they let him in on the entire lie or whatever. Oh shit. I don't know to what extent they let him in on the entire lie, but she was telling me, and then thinking back, I was like, oh, she must be Freemason because they don't let anybody go to travel deep into Antarctica or the real North Pole, right? She was telling me that she saw Mount Meru, right? Which is what a lot of people believe is there at the North Pole, you know. That guy's pissed off, right? Just what's going on, man? Gamer Ducky. Do I have a bunch of savage trolls? Do you guys know I like a lot of gay pop music. If you know me, I like all types of music, right? I'm really into pop, high energy, upbeat pop and R&B music of a long ass time ago, from before my time, right? Like 70s, 80s, right? I don't judge. But yeah, I want to break into something else because I hate repeating myself, but I had delivered this in such a funny way, right? While I was taking the longest fucking Austin Powers piss ever, right? I broke it. I've had people, right, acting like I'm someone that needs to be defeated and brought down, right? And I'm like, but why? I'm like, if you cannot see that Moi is actually a nice guy and a good person, if you can't see that by now, I'm just like, man, suck it and die already. I don't mean literally, right? I'm just joking, right? Suck it and die. But I have zero patience for anyone that, you know, it treats me as if I'm someone that needs to be defeated and brought down in the spiritual sense, you know. Because I'm like I'm much more of a Christian and a much better Christian than most Christians who actually go to church and shit. Even though I did spend a lot of time studying Christian teachings, you know, online and attending online Christian church, you know, the church of Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson, which to my understanding, I've cross-referenced what other people, their explanations of the Bible. He teaches it to the closest to what it is, what it really should be. He goes into everything, you know, the mind of God, you know, the mind of God, silent prayer, which is basically deep breathing and meditation, and, you know, the mind of God, thinking, and death and rebirth, and, you know, in order to live you must die, which is, you know, what Christ said that or whatever. Most Christians that go to church wouldn't know what that means. In order to live you must die. They'd be like, the Bible is metaphoric, and it's speaking in spiritual terms, in metaphors, in parables, and poetically, you know. But I already went through that so many times, what they call, you know, death and rebirth and dark nights of, other people call it dark nights of the soul. I went through that so many times that I'm like, that I have no patience. You know, when someone's trying to run me through some type of, I don't know what, test or whatever, I'm like, oh man, come on. Oh man, come on. That's what it is. It's like I was talking to someone that I thought was an actual friend at one point. I was like, and we used to break into conspiracy talk out in the open and just laugh and joke about it. The one I was telling you, and I was like, I used to always go like, how are they letting us do this, right? Because I know I'm a TI. I know for a fact I'm a targeted individual, right? And why would they let me have someone to laugh and joke about this out in the open and shit like that, you know? And to to you know, I don't know how to say this, but let's say influential guys, right? And sure enough, one day he was reprogrammed and came back as a different person. He switched on me completely and went against me, right? Which was whatever, right? I expected that. I had already been through that and expected it to happen at some point, right? I forgot what the point. Oh yeah, I was telling him one time. If you think about it, we're what the actual definition of liberals, what the classical liberal thinking is. That's what we are, which is live and let live. You know, I do my thing. Me and him were totally different people, right? Were and are totally different people, right? But somehow it worked. I don't know how, right? But I was like, yo, live and let live. I do my thing. You do your thing. We're not into the same shit. We're completely different people, but we can still be friends and shit, right? You know, he was a Satanist. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, he did tell me this one random thing. People have told me really random, cryptic, dark things out of nowhere, like they just come out of nowhere from people that you wouldn't expect would say weird shit like that. One time we were just sitting there, just casually talking, and he told me, which is weird because this was like a really clean cut, like Ned Flanders type, right? Ned Flanders type. He told me, do you think you could sacrifice someone, like a person? And then I was like, what the fuck? I didn't know what to say, right? It came out of nowhere. And then that should have been a clue to be like, oh, this motherfucker's into some dark shit, right? He was a Satanist. A lot of people are Satanists and they don't realize it. They're of their father, the devil, right? They have this demonic spirit in them that wants to defeat good, the good in you or whatever, the good in you. Only the. What else? No questions? No questions? Any questions? And then one time, this guy who I know was a Mason, right? He told me this weird shit. He's like, be careful who you allow to take you into the darkness, right? Or who you allow. Be careful with who brings you into the darkness, or who you allow to take you into the darkness. And I'm like, and then he moved on immediately to something else, like just in passing, quickly said that, right? And then I'm like, no one picked up on that dark ass shit that he just said. No, we don't. Who? Me and what was my closest male friend or whatever. We don't talk. The Freemason, I don't know. The Freemason was a different guy, right? who admitted out in the open, he admitted he was a Freemason one time. But it's all good, right? Like if I saw him, I'd probably, I don't know. If he talked to me, I'm such an extrovert and a friendly guy that even someone like like that, I would probably respond or whatever. I don't know, maybe. I need more water. My throat feels dry as hell. That guy about the sacrifice? No, him no. That's the guy who I thought was an actual friend, right? Like my closest male friend at one point, right? Which we were totally different people, He was like more of like Ned Flanders. Ned Flanders. without the spiritual aspect. Without the Ned Flanders. Any other questions? I'm gonna go get some water. Yeah, I highly recommend Level, the Flat Earth film, and Level with Me, which barely came out. Those movies will blow your mind. And Eddie Bravo, he is the one who really, I'm assuming he got most of his knowledge from people like Eric Dubay and allegedly Dave. But the way I guess the way my mind works, he broke it down into really simple ghetto terms that I got it, and it fucking blew my mind. Look up Eddie Bravo. I mean, he was like a super close friend of Joe Rogan. And them early days, the first 200 episodes of Joe Rogan, I was there, right? I liked it, right? That's when it was that real shit, It was just a bunch of savages, and even Joe Rogan was like, the moon landing was faked at that point, and then he was reprogrammed, and he reprogrammed, and now he's like defends NASA like hell, right? But you were gang stalked also. Supposedly, once you've been put under that that microscope, that program, supposedly it never ends. And I've noticed that it doesn't. It has moments where it goes down and you don't really notice it, and then moments where it picks up and they up the level on your ass, right? But that's that demonic, that's that demon, that's that calcified pineal gland, too much fluoride up in the pineal gland. They need to get someone to scrape that shit off. That is not good. And Pinocchio is a metaphor for the pineal gland, and the pine tree. Why pine trees are associated with Christmas, right? They're laughing at us, they're mocking us, they're rubbing it in our face, right? And there's balls all over and a satanic star on top, right? You know, pentagram or whatever. There's balls and the pine tree represents your pineal gland, right? Like, oh, we've captured this thing. You're following this made up satanic shit that we made up for you, right? We made up this materialistic thing that we made up for you, which most people love and follow, right? Materialistic. Women are shallow in the material sense, right? It's just as bad, right? It's actually worse because you can't decide what you find attractive. You find attractive what you find attractive, right? Some guys are into really huge, thick women, right? Some guys, like one of my friends, getting into talks with a really smart, funny guy. Getting into talks, he was basically told me multiple times, I really only find thin girls attractive, right? And I was like, okay, that's cool, right? That's his thing, right? I'm into all types, right? But you cannot really choose what you find attractive, right? But choosing to go with the crowd and, follow the crowd and do whatever it takes to fit in with the majority and the crowd and rumors and gossip and group mentality, choosing that and choosing materialism also, that is a choice, I think, because you're showing that you're weak of character and you're not an individual who can think for themselves and form their own opinion. This is long as fuck already. All right, bye-bye. 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 And if I don't see you again, good afternoon. How does it go? Good afternoon, good morning, and good night. Is that how it goes?